Good day, everyone. James Hicks here. Montel Allen's on the other side.
Yes,
No,
sir.
November 16th, Team No Sleep. The social impact of sport. Um, you noticed a little preamble to the show this evening, folks. We want to start off and we want to give some love to Coach Kimbrough. Uh, good good friend of the show, good friend of Montel. Montel introduced me to him. Let's go ahead and pause, brother. I want you to say just something because we had Kier on the show not too long ago, and I'm gonna put a link into the description of when we had Kier on. And you called him the Black Adam Sandler. No, not Adam Sandler. That Black Adam Schefter. Oh, see, let me get it right. The Black Adam Schefter. Shouts out to Coach Kier. But talk a little bit about that because I want to bring up something else about this particular month as well.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we lost a really good friend of mine, Kimbrough, due to respiratory complications. Man, just a great guy. That's all you can say about him. Like I said, a very infectious personality. Um, he was just one of those guys that, man, you could just really gravitate to. He was always a good listener. Always a great support mechanism. Very instrumental in me when I moved to San Diego. He's one of the first guys I met. Really embraced me big time. He's just really all around good man. Great family. There's unfortunately, untimely, passing away. So I wish him I wish his family the very best. I pray for their strength during these tough times. But I know my brother's in a better place, man, to watch over everybody. So
Yeah.
shout out to the Kimbrough family, his son Kahari, his older son that lives in Vegas, and his grandson and his wife. I do nothing but pray for them, man, and wish nothing but the best, to come out of this situation, man. It's
Definitely,
real sad.
definitely. So, and what I wanted to say about this particular month, right? Men typically talk about Movember, right, and talk about men's health and getting screened for testicular cancer and things like that. But it's also Men's Health Awareness Month. So, we lost a brother. You actually lost a couple of folks this particular month, so it's
Yeah,
been increasingly traumatic for you. I've lost a couple of folks. Unfortunately, in the last few months as well. But let's talk to the fellas right now. Look after yourself. Make sure that you are looking after your body, looking after your mind, looking after your soul, looking after your spirit. So let's do that because we can't take care of and help anyone else unless we take care of ourselves. So there you go.
absolutely.
Wanted to put
A-
that out there.
Yeah, absolutely, especially for in our African American community, right? Us, and I'm including that's myself included. Very resistant to going to the hospital. Very resistant to getting, colonoscopy to get the tests and all that stuff. I'm one of those people that are very resistant to that thing. To those, I come from the old school. That's just like a very invasive procedure that I don't want to do. But
Mm-hmm.
now they got other ways. So I think us as an African American, especially African American male, especially when you get to that age, man, you really gotta take precautionary actions and do what they ask you to do in order to protect yourself from colon cancer and all that. Like you said, I did lose another friend last week. True DB Low from Humboldt State, Wesley White. He passed away from some complications with his heart as well as with cancer. Man, and him rest in peace as well, and his family, the White family. It's just sad, man. It's just was trying. It's that particular time
Yeah.
as we're getting up in that age, right? We're getting up in that age, and things start to creep up to us that we've done to our bodies. And I just, like you said, people need to just reach out to family. One, give them a hug, tell them they love them, and make sure you see how they're doing. Because it's just crazy, man. You never, tomorrow's not promised to nobody.
That is true. That is true. So the challenge and that we ask of each and every one of you, reach out to someone who you probably haven't talked to in a little bit, right? You don't hold no grudges, y'all. All right, don't hold no grudges. Make sure you reach out, especially talk to your immediate family because a lot of things are happening, and we don't want to waste any more time. Um, Unfortunately, this week we got some stories that also don't make sense. Right, we've got some negativity that's happening in the social impact of sport realm, and we're gonna go ahead and start with probably the toughest story of the week, and University of Virginia. Right, the fact that we had another school shooting, the fact that we had another shooting amongst minorities, right, young black men out here shooting, and the fact that they're all senseless, Right. So, but it doesn't make any sense about this. But here it is. The gunman who shot the students on a school field trip to Washington, D.C., was an ex-player on the football team. He didn't make the team in terms of continuing to play. I think he was a redshirt, and he played his freshman year. Things of that stuff didn't work out. But he was on this field trip from Washington from Virginia to Washington, and the boys shot these folks on purpose. There are reports that this was not random, that he was actually aiming at the people that he shot. And he actually shot and killed one of the gentlemen while he was sleeping. All right, so think about these are 20-year-old young black men, star athletes in college. Here's the suspect right here, Christopher Jones. These are the men who have been cut down short in their life. There are two other folks who were shot. They were injured. They did not have life-threatening injuries, but let's give them their flowers here. Devin Chandler, Deshaun Perry, Lavelle Davis Jr. are these three gentlemen here from the University of Virginia who aren't coming home. Don't understand this, man. Don't understand this at all. Again, the kids, and not even the men, right? The kids were on a field trip from Virginia. And while I was reading this story, they were talking about Henrico. They were talking about places that where my extended family is. So shouts out, I see my dad here in the comments. I mean, this is places where I go when I go back home. So who knows, right? May have run into some of his folks or some of these people's family and things of that nature. But on a school field trip to Washington, D.C., to see a show, to see a play, we don't know all of the circumstances, but we know that these three gentlemen right here got shot. One of the gentlemen was shot in his sleep and is no longer with us. Montel, you can't make any sense of it, but tell me what you're thinking, man.
When I first heard the news, I heard it real early. Sick to my stomach.
Yeah,
I am. I mean, it's just we're in the age or in the state of emergency. I think amongst and I have to speak specifics to these young black men. We're in a state of emergency, and we keep talking about the same thing over and over again. Gun violence. We need to stop what's going on. We need to do more. We do more, but nothing changes. Nothing changes. They're not going to stop making guns. They're not going to stop doing anything, and we keep having these same senseless killings or whatnot. I don't know what this situation with this young man is. Why he hunted these people down to shoot them. I know from what I read, they're trying to paint the narrative like they were picking on him, or I think that he was getting bullied or something like that. I don't give a damn what the situation was. There is no reason in any situation for you to do that. There's not one for you to try to hunt some people down in their sleep while they're on the field trip, and then kill these guys that were your former teammates, and then shoot two other people. I mean, there's nothing to say, man. I don't even know where to begin, except we need to call an action at some point as a community. As a state, I hope the state of Virginia does something. I mean, I think this is obviously we're having the same incidents over and over again. This is the first of this kind, but we had the young man that we talked about in Utah that got shot that was a college football player.
Right.
We've had these other incidents where people getting shot where they're athletes and they just happen to be in the wrong place. And not just because they're athletes. I mean, any human that gets shot is wrong. But I'm saying these people that are in situations where they're on the road to being very successful, right? They're in school. They're on their way to get their degrees. They're going to be productive citizens. Our community hopes and their communities where they come from, hopefully. And we are gunning them down at an alarm rate. So yeah. I mean, I don't know what the answer is because I don't have an answer. I mean, I have my own opinion, but I don't have the answer. That makes sense. I have an opinion.
No, that makes complete sense, right? We can all come with our opinions and our feelings and our emotions about this. I'm just all wrapped around the fact that, again, I internalize and visualize and take a lot of stuff with me a lot longer than I possibly should. And I just think about how Devin Chandler was sleeping, right? And here comes Christopher Jones and shoots and kills him. I mean, just the again, we already said he was a coward for doing something like this. But just how do you have that mentality, regardless of the fact that, okay, you got passed up on the team, you didn't make the team, you weren't good enough to play, so get better, right? Get better.
Yeah.
But you being Christopher Jones have already had issues with the law in the past, already had issues with assault and battery, and also had a gun charge against you where you were somewhat belligerent with law enforcement about turning over that weapon. How does this guy?
You know what's funny? Wait, before you go, you know what's funny to me, and you just saying that just came to me. Young man that doesn't know how to deal with failure. You know, you failed to make the team, so now I got to take it out on somebody.
Talk about that.
I believe that. I mean, he was a walk-on player that made it his first year, and he got cut the second year. So obviously, you know, you're still around some of the guys. I think you don't know how to process failure and how to overcome failure. I believe, and I bet you there's a pattern in there in his past. You don't know how to overcome failure, and I think that's something that's lacking in the today's generation. They don't like to be criticized, critiqued, or any of that stuff. And when you fail at something, I think they don't know how to process and deal with it. You know, and I think the first call of action is what you know best is maybe violence or anger or whatever traits you come to that's the easiest one for you to get to. But they do not know how to overcome failure. Man, this dude, he didn't make the team. I've heard there was rumors he was mad because he didn't make the team or he wasn't a part of the team anymore. Like you said, get better. Now, there's so many options. Transfer, go to the portal, go to play for another team. Go do something. There's all these other things you can do if you want to continue to play. But him failing, I think, was resonated with his anger.
So how does it get to the point, though, to where he goes to this extreme? Right. I mean, I know we just here chopping up. We're not clinical psychologists. We don't have the degree of how to deal with these kind of things. But I mean, again, 20-year-old kids. How do you get to the point where, again, just because I can't get out there on the field and run up and down the field and catch a pass or take a block, why do I now feel that I need to take your lives and I need to particularly target these individuals? Because again, as I was saying and looking at the story here, this was not random. This guy actually
he hunted them down. Yeah, he specifically went out to certain people. So 6 lives are gone now. 6. And I say 6 because the 2 that survived, they're going to be traumatized for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
You know, not saying they won't overcome it, but they'll be traumatized. We already know 4 lives are gone. The 3 that he killed in his own life is gone. And I believe, in my opinion, I hate to say this, and I never wish this on any other man, but he's probably going to get the death penalty, and rightfully and deservingly so.
He's held without bail right now, so there going to be some consequences for sure.
I think death penalty is definitely on the table. I think death penalty will be on the table for him. Yeah. But like you said, where in a 20-year-old's mind that he feels he has the right to take someone's life, number one, and number two, that he has the audacity to execute and go through with it, right? You have the balls and the gall to go ahead and go through it and hunt these people down. And then, now we're in the state of now people want to be empathized and try to understand the situation. That crazy shit goes out the window for me.
There's no understanding this.
If you're conscious enough, because let's be honest, they're gonna try to pin the mental health deal on there. We're all going through mental health issues. We all have to deal with the same thing. But the fact of the matter is that you have enough audacity to process to get a gun, load a gun, bring it to wherever you're at, go seek those people out, pull the trigger and shoot them. You ain't mentally crazy at that point.
You are completely aware of everything you did was premeditated, 100%.
Yeah.
There's no copping out and saying that you had a mental lapse.
It's premeditated and it's calculated and it's executed.
Wow.
Acting out and executing is not mental health. That's a conscious thought process and action within yourself. So I don't want to hear the mental health issue. I don't want to hear any of that. You cold-blooded murdered 3 young men, wounded 2 others, and you should be held accountable beyond the law, as far as I'm concerned. Beyond the law, there's no excuse for it. And I hope they set a high precedence. Yeah. I hate to see a young man's life taken, but you need to set a high precedence so this never happens again. And this is and being close, so close to DC, being in DC I believe when it happened on the way back.
Yeah, they were on a field trip to DC. Yeah.
Why? I don't understand why they can't see the alarming growth for gun manufacturers to quit making so many damn guns. There's so many guns, it's so accessible. I mean, and that's a political thing, and I don't want to get this show into a political thing, but man, where we're going to draw the line with gun control, and I'm going to tell you right, it's not going to draw with this case because it's black on black crime. This will be a headline for the next week.
Well, I was going to say that may be, even though this was a very incredible, busy week in terms of election conversations and things like that, but I haven't seen this anywhere else.
No.
In the news
cycle. I've seen them talk about it when it first happened, but then no one's going into detail about it.
No one's talking about the domino effect here of, again, all the 3 that lost their lives, the 2 that are hospitalized, the suspect, everyone around that. I mean, all the conversations that need to come out of this particular incident right here, right? How this affects everyone. And yeah, do not even talk about mental health with this particular young man, because listen, this is another one of them folks that they just need to throw the key away. My opinion, don't pick me for the jury, because I am going to be biased. And if I was to be in that room, I'd jump over the table and try to strangle this young brother myself. But
there's no rhyme or reason for this action. No, man.
Tonight we not getting no sponsorships tonight, because we coming straight off the dome with the real deal, right?
No. But I'm saying, being so close to home to DC, where the politicians and these policymakers are at, I can't see nobody screaming for. This is more of a reason why we need to implement some type of gun control and lobbying this against gun manufacturers. But they won't. And like I said, I'll speak the truth. They won't. It was a black man killing 3 other black men. It's going to go, whether it was a college setting, whether it was in a club, same thing. They're not going to lobby for it. And that's sad. One, that's sad. 2, my only concern and what I wonder about this young brother is where he didn't have anyone to turn to or talk to kind of figure out what was going on. Like, I know his father was in his life, because his father's made a comment on it.
His father's spoken out. I haven't listened to that account yet, but hold on, before you keep going, and I want folks to think about this. I'm sure that they are, and they're sitting on the keyboards. If you got a comment or something about this as well, if you think Montel and I are off the rocker and you feel a different way, listen, go ahead and put it in the chat so we can talk about it. Right, let's have that awkward conversation. All right, man, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No. I was just saying, I'm wondering that brother's state of mind, like where he had no one, where he felt he could talk to nobody and turn to nobody. You know, I'm really, because we all go through, because there's stages to when you go to your anger. I don't think he went from 0 to 100 in one day.
Yeah,
I believe
so there were some signs that somebody, it's always what is it? Hindsight is 20/20, right? Somebody saw something in this gentleman.
This is something that usually festers in people. That's why before they do mass killings, they do manifestos, right? They do manifestos, or they email, or they do Facebook, or whatever they do. This is something that usually festers in somebody, and then they act out on their actions. I wonder where he didn't have no one, or there was no one there to talk to, or there was nobody to recognize those signs and saying, hey, there's something going on with this guy. I mean, I think we're so caught up in our phones all the time and putting our headphones in and blocking out the world. We're not looking at any signs when it comes to not only just our friends. We're not seeing the signs when it comes to our friends. I ain't talking about a stranger. I'm talking about just friends or family. We're so caught up in doing this all the time and doing this. I think we're starting to lose. I think this generation is starting to lose sight of, like, hey, when I can see signs in people that things are not right or things are off. Not this as an excuse. I'm not using it as an excuse. I think the brother should be gone, to be honest with you. I think you're wasting space when you do things like that. But I do believe that we need to start paying attention to those things. And it needs to start at home, and then it needs to expand out. I think we need to really pay attention to what kids are blocking out. Not what they're taking in all the time, but what they're blocking out.
Wow. Okay, that's a great perspective that you put there, right? What are you blocking out, and why are you trying to block that out as well? To this Facebook user, I think this is my mom. She asked, did he personally know these persons? Yes, he actually was in the classroom on the school bus that was on the field trip to DC, and he was also an ex-member on the football team. So yeah, this was a hit. That's what it was. This was a known, calculated hit, premeditated, pre-planned, all that. So yeah, this was deliberate, not alleged.
man.
Not
No, 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 no.
none of those words, right? None of those
No, no.
words that the traditional news
I'm
cycle will want to
surprised.
use.
I'm surprised more people are not commenting on the situation. I know there's probably they really ain't nothing to say. I mean, what can you say?
Mm,
You can feel empathetic about it. You can be pissed off about it, mad about it. But the fact of the matter, at some point there has to be action taken,
has
right?
to be
And some
action.
type of action taken. And I'm sure the university is going to take a strict action. I'm pretty sure they've already, figuring out what they're probably going to do, and probably going to even do more and go above and beyond, which is rightfully so, because that should be a sanctuary place, not a place where you can have those kind of activities. But I'm saying we need to look at as African American community, man. We need it. Remember, this wasn't no thug. This wasn't
Yeah,
nobody. No. He killed 3 promising young men, and he
yeah,
was a promising young man because he was in college doing the same thing. So when you talk about the common thug on the street killing other thugs, we're not talking about street merchants out there doing whatever. We're not talking. I'm sorry, not street merchants. We're not talking about street scavengers out there doing whatever. We're talking about 4 college students,
yeah.
4 promising brothers that have promising careers, and this one brother took it, being his actions being mad or whatever, took 3 other lives and wounded 2 others. That has to resonate. These are promising young people that are doing this now. We ain't talking about people that's on the corner, people on the block. We
Yeah.
ain't talking about people in the backwoods that we don't never hear in the woods or in the sticks. We talking about 4 brothers that's in school supposedly
Doing the
doing
right
the
thing.
right thing.
Coming from a field trip in DC, right? Going out there and doing some social justice. Going out there
Yeah,
and learning something of how to do better and how to be better, right? These guys, I forgot what they were studying. I saw it somewhere, but yeah, you're right. These young cats were doing the right thing.
yes, doing the
And
right thing.
like the
So
comment says, well, maybe he was jealous. That was probably some of it. But again, why does jealousy and why does fear of rejection, like you were saying, Montel, why does fear of being left out, not being good enough, why does that take you to that level?
yeah,
Why not just go off on your own, hire yourself a coach, and get better at football if that's what you need to do? Why not
yeah,
work on your grades, get you a tutor? Why not do the things that a man is that a rational human being, I'm not even just gonna say man, but that a rational human being should do instead of picking up this gun and going out there and shooting these
yeah,
brothers
yeah.
and shooting one of them in the
Yeah,
sleep?
I'm not understanding why that's not that. Why is that the answer?
Yeah. Why is
Okay, if
that the
that
answer?
makes sense. Why is
Hmm.
that the why is violence of doing that? Why is that the answer? You know what I mean? If anything, if he had a problem with them, an individual problem, he should have confronted those men and hashed it out, or fisticuffs, right? You have to duke it out, you duke it out. But you live another day. I don't
Hmm.
understand why the answer is that I gotta kill him.
See,
Why is
that's
that
us
the
coming
answer?
from the kind of the old school, right? There have been many a day, and I think both my parents are
Mm.
watching, so they don't know about all the fights. Like, we'd get out there in the playground or in the yard or in the street. We'd be at the grad in Davis, and listen,
Hey,
we throw them dukes up, boy, right?
I have a
And we talk
disagreement with
about
you.
it the next day.
Hey, you have a disagreement. I don't like you. I don't like me. Blah blah. But we bump each other. We would fight.
We
Right. That
fight.
would be the thing. We fight it out. But it
Yeah,
would my never thought on. I would tell people my worst of my worst is my worst enemies.
yeah,
Never thought about killing nobody.
yeah,
I might have thought about fighting, or I'm gonna get him back, or I'm gonna do this. But I never in my mind, never in my mind
yeah,
had that as like that's one of the options. I'm gonna kill him.
yeah.
That doesn't resonate, and I don't understand why now. With and I will say not just this generation, the generation before it too. It's getting gradually and gradually worse. Why is that the answer? And I think we need to start as people and as parents, we need to start asking that question. Why is that the answer? Why is that the absolute answer? Why isn't it you can't transfer schools? Why can't you just can't move away? Why can't you just resolve it in a different manner? Why is killing the answer? And let's be honest, let's be frank, we on the show. It's us killing us.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Pause right there.
it's us. It ain't the man. It ain't the system. It's us killing us. We
There
got
is
us killing.
we got so many more situations where for a while we were talking about black on black crime. We were talking about right, and it was almost uh, it was almost popular to talk about, right? But
Mhm.
why now, or why has it become such norm, unfortunately, to whereas, right, we're seeing these situations happen, and you're right, it's always us against us, and we're always taking each other out.
Always, man. We hunt each other. We hunt each other.
Say that. I
And
mean,
I hate to
think
say it
about
that way.
that, man. All right, the words that you use matter, right? The words that you're using right now
It's
matter.
true. But I can validate what I'm saying. It's true. We hunt and we prey on each other, and we prey on the success, and we celebrate negativity. I'm being perfectly honest. Us as our culture and our people, we celebrate. Hey, he's getting out of jail. He's doing this. Like that's an accomplishment.
Mm-hmm.
Really, that's an accomplishment. We celebrate harder with somebody coming out of jail than we do somebody graduating from high school.
And always,
And I'm talking about,
and unfortunately, always, I see Tammy in the building. What's up? Appreciate you for being here. And so we think about that as well, right? So this may go back to what my mom was saying: the jealousy, the fact that again, this guy didn't make the team. He was jealous of that and wanted to even the playing field, right? Probably one of those three players, and we don't know. I'm just speculating right now. One of those three players was probably someone who took his spot on the team, right?
Yep.
So I'm going to do the biggest damage that I can off the top of my head, not even thinking about. I can guarantee you that this guy wasn't even thinking about the ramifications of what happens after he pulls that trigger. So everything that's happening right now, I can guarantee you he didn't think about it.
No, that's a pass. I don't give a pass.
No, I'm just saying. But again, right? He thought about what he wanted to do and he did what he did in the moment. But right now, all the stuff that's happening right now, the hurt that he's causing the families of the kids that he killed, his family, right? Because his dad got to talk about the fact that his son is a murderer. All this negative publicity on the school. I mean, all this other stuff that's coming out of that one action that took half a second. He didn't think about all that. He didn't think. He didn't. He thought of.
I think no, you're right. No, I'm agreeing with you. I think you're right. He maybe didn't think about all those actions. I thought you were talking about more. He didn't know what could come after this, like possibly going to jail and all that.
No,
I think
so. He didn't. He just didn't think about doing all that. He didn't think it through. Like if he had just stopped, paused, and said, "You know what, man, I can't." I'm trying to go back to where you were going, right? If he just stopped, paused, and said, "You know what, let me just go holler at these brothers after class or something, and just air it out or have that discussion, throw them fists up, just do something else."
Instead of shooting the brother, just go pistol whip him while he was asleep. Why you gotta shoot him?
Go steal his girlfriend like I used to do.
Man, just go do
something else. I'm just saying.
I just don't understand why death or killing somebody is the ultimate answer. Why is that? How's that your final answer? That's like Jeopardy. Hey, you know what? You see a brother, you have a disagreement with him. Here's your final A. A, do you go over and say something to? B, do you something? 3, no, check, my final answer is kill. Yeah. What? You had a disagreement over some bubble gum. Kill. That's my answer. That's not the. I'm not understanding where the disconnect from value of life is from our community. Why we disvalue life so much. Why do we not respect life? Living. Why don't we respect that at all? We don't.
I wonder if it's okay. And is it a generational thing? Because I see what a couple of comments are saying. I see what Tammy's saying here. Right, it starts at home. Right. Again, you're my generation. We learned from our elders that you don't act a fool like this. Right. But there, and we've talked about this topic before, right? Where is that disconnect? Maybe in that family unit. And again, folks, we're talking about everyone, but we're honing in on the Black family culture, the Black family unit, because that's what we know. Yeah, right? That's what we live in. If you got other perspectives, please put it in the comments. We gonna talk about it. We got 3 other stories we're gonna talk about, but this one matters right now. Is there something that has happened in this culture as of now with this next generation? I don't know who they are, X, Y, Z, whoever the case may be, to where they are less empathetic, less aware of the value of life? Are they so locked off and turned off? Because again, you said they're locking out everything else by putting all the headphones on and playing the song, doing all that stuff, and all the games and all the songs are violent and things like that. I may be answering my own question.
No, because see, I look at it differently, man. Because we listen to the same violent music. We played the same kind of video games that were violent. We made the conscious choice not to do those types of things, right? We understood that there was a ramification if I was to do something like that. We chose that, hey, if we was in the street and we had a problem with each other, we either discuss it as men or we would handle it with our fists. Yeah. Right? That's where we came from in Sacramento. Both of us raised in Sacramento. Fighting North Highlands and fighting all those other people, whoever we was going against. That's the way it was. Right? At some point, in some direction, it came to say, hey, you know what? Kill is fine. Because I'm not gonna blame it on video games. I'm not gonna blame it on music, because we should be smart enough as people, as parents growing up, that we can decipher what's entertainment and what's not entertainment. I know pushing a button on the video game is not the same as squeezing a bullet on the trigger in a gun. And you ain't gonna tell me any different. You do know the difference. Don't tell me you're so desensitized that you don't know the difference. You do know the difference. You know this one ends everything, and there's so many ramifications from this one. I press the restart button, we start all over, and I try to get as many kills as I can on the game. You can decipher the difference. We're not dealing with now no longer with kids that don't know any better. These kids are smarter than we ever were coming up. They know how to use iPads by the time they're 2 years old. They understand how to do all these things. Very smart, very intellectual kids, they understand. But at the same token, in our community, Black community, we disregard life. Like I said before, man, we celebrate negativity. We do. We celebrate guys coming out of prison. We praise the guys that go to jail. Some of them. We celebrate. You know, don't get me wrong. I like the movies too, but we celebrate drug dealers in our community. We talk about, you know, the guys that are in the gangsters, the formerly drug dealers who made it rappers. They idolize them so much. But yet the guy that's going to school getting his degree, he's a sellout and he's a nerd. If I speak in complete sentences, I'm a sellout. I'm a nerd. I'm whitewashed, right? Because I can speak in complete sentences. Because I can understand how to handle myself in front of any audience that I am. I'm a sellout. And it starts with the young guy. It starts with the young people disrespected that way. How am I a sellout? Because I chose to get educated and be able to speak in a correct dialect, in proper English.
Yeah.
I choose not to have braids in my hair at the age I'm at. I choose not to drink a 40 on the corner. So I'm a sellout because I don't want to do those things. I choose that I want to have nice things the right way. So I'm a sellout. But yet our community celebrate the other way. The dude that's on the corner doing the bad that got the nice car, and he's hella cool. You know what I mean? The rapper that got shot 5 times and made it out because he had a hit song, he's cool. And even though he's going back and forth to jail, he's a cool guy. Dude, it's backwards. And we see this in no other culture. None. Zero. Not the Latino culture, not Asian culture, not white. We see it in no other culture but ours. We celebrate negativity like it's the thing to be. And it's sad. And what goes along with that? The guy that's on there that killed somebody, oh man, he smoked homeboy. They talk about it all the time. Like it's some damn praise, like we're supposed to praise it. It's unfair, man. It's just unfair because, again, we got this young brother, man, that did this. A promising young brother did this to 3 other promising young brothers, and I'm wondering where the disconnect happened.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Acclaimed university, right? Listen, University of Virginia is dope. I mean, that's a nice school, right? So you got to know something to get in there. So he has something up there.
Man, he's smart. He's smart. Like I said, bro, there's something there, and it's not a mental issue. I ain't blaming it on mental. There's something there.
Yeah.
That drove this young brother to say, "This is it." Because you can't tell me a brother that's in second year in college can't decipher whether I'm killing somebody or not. You ain't gonna tell that. I ain't gonna believe that in no court. No court in the world can convince me any different. He understood. He had a pretty good understanding of his action, what he was about to do. Now, like you said, maybe he didn't realize all the consequences that will come with it after fact, but he realized what his actions were going to do. He's smart enough to do that. So my thing is, where's that break? And that break is not just happening with him. That happens in our communities every day. Every freaking day. Yeah. And it's starting to become, like I said, I want to see
it's not even frustrating anymore. It's tiring.
Yes.
Right. So we beyond, and I got a shirt that I made. It said, less hashtags and more action. Right. I mean, it's beyond the fact that, I mean, like we see the story and we're not getting used to it. We're not getting accustomed to it and soft to it. It's just like, man, it's just now tiring to see these stories every single week.
And it's sad, man. Yeah. I mean, it's really. You talking about now? This is affecting my mental psyche, right? Yeah. We're talking about mental effect. This affects my mental psyche because I'm seeing promising young men destroy themselves.
Yeah.
And like I told you before, you said my words mean powerful. I hate to say it, but in our community, Black community, hip hop community, we hunt each other. And the more successful you are, the more you are hunted. Not hunted for knowledge to see how I can get the same success. Hunted out of jealousy, envy, and whatever else what I could take from you. And it's sad.
Can't see our brother achieving, progressing, doing better without us doing better, or without us, or without the next person doing as good, right? If you, Montel, are doing anything better than me, I got to throw the banana underneath your shoe so you slip. I gotta lock this next door so you can't get in. Right? You're right. Or something ridiculous like this, or something ridiculous like the takeoff situation out there shooting dice, and next thing you know, you got the brothers is no longer with us there as well. And
we're being hunted, man. Like I said, the more successful you get, the more we're hunted, and we're hunted, and that includes athletes as well. Yeah. Athletes are hunted, and rappers are hunted. Our millionaires are hunted by other people for whatever reason. Instead of us, and I made a quote today. Instead of us praising them for their success and accomplishment, we prey on them for the success of their accomplishments.
Very true. Very true.
And what I mean by prey, we hunt them down. And you're right.
Hunt them down.
It's sad, man. I don't know if I have an answer, but I mean, I would expect somebody to try to do something. I mean, Black Lives Matter. Anybody that's in that public forum needs to speak on it, and they don't. Man, they just don't. They just ignore it and let it go under the rug. No one says anything, and then we just keep having the same situation, and we come back to having the same conversation over a different topic every time. Someone needs to speak upon it and talk. I mean, I speak my opinion in my mind. I'm really true. I'm true to myself.
Yeah.
I just feel it's just sad that, man, we can't ever get no one in a position of power to talk about the same things.
And that's I'm gonna write that down, because I wonder right now if and then we'll move on, and then I'm going to bring up these charges that he has. But I almost wonder again, and think about this, folks. Do we have anyone in the Black community in our culture who has that power anymore? We don't have the Malcolms anymore. We don't have the Martins anymore. We don't have we got. I'm not going to get into it, but we don't have that person, or we don't have necessarily that organization who can go out and reach folks on all sides of the aisle, blue, red, green, all of that, from a political side, and then go out there and get the Bloods and get the Crips and get just get folks to sit down just for a minute. So, someone here is saying Jesse Jackson. Jesse Jackson is 87 years old. His time has kind of passed. That torch should have been passed to someone else. I don't know if it's not Sharpton.
It's not Sharpton. It's not Farrakhan, because he's too radical.
Right. But we don't have someone right now.
We don't have a leader. We don't have a clear-cut leader to lead. I don't want to say the civil rights movement, but I mean, we don't have any leading us into that right direction, or be able to fight our fights in the political realm. We have no one. And right now, the person they're trying to put in there is Herschel Walker. He don't represent us or me at all.
Man.
But he's the one they're trying to put in there.
Don't ever,
you know what I'm saying?
Don't mention that name no more.
I'm just telling.
He's just like 45. Don't mention that. No,
but I'm just speaking what's there.
Come on, Georgie.
We don't have anyone that's there.
Yeah.
In that realm to be able to speak on what's right and fight for what's right in these political realms, in these situations, to help us in our communities.
We're gonna think about that. We're gonna think about that. I see Sammy's youth activities. Could that help? Probably, but again, these were young athletes, right? So we're gonna talk about. I'm gonna write that down, because I think we want to hit on that subject as well. Again, so let me go back into this, because this young man, 22-year-old student at the University of Virginia. He faces 3 counts of second-degree murder and 3 counts of using a handgun in the commission of a felony. He also faces 2 counts of malicious wounding, each accompanied by a firearm charge. Again, Jones and the victims were returning from a school field trip in Washington, D.C. late Sunday when he shot the folks dead. We're going to stay on this subject. We're going to stay on this topic. We're going to find something. But what we just talked about just now, finding other avenues, finding representation at a larger level, those things need to happen. Those things need to happen, and we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna lean. So we're gonna lean heavily into the Black community because again, that's what we know. But we are going to make it inclusive of everyone because everyone needs to be a part of that particular discussion. I wanted to say that. Let you go, man.
Yeah. No, it's just funny that you were just saying supposed Black leaders. Somebody said Jesse Jackson, or you said Sharpton.
Yeah,
I haven't heard either one. I haven't heard either one of them speak out.
I'm gonna say that. Yeah, they ain't said.
I haven't heard not one of them speak out on this situation. How Travis. I haven't even heard what's the brother's name, Ben, the lawyer dude that was at the George Floyd lawyer. That I haven't even seen him there. I forgot his name. Ben. He's a bald-headed brother. He's always on.
I think I know. Yeah, I think I know you're talking about. Yeah, I don't know you're talking about.
I haven't seen him even say anything or him come out and say, "Hey, go out there and agree with the family." And the crazy part about it, this kind of pisses me off, man. To be really not think about it. So we was there. I mean, we were there in full force for George Floyd, and I get that, rightfully so.
Yeah.
Where are them entertainers there in Virginia consoling those three families that just happened?
Mm.
Where is the starlight, shining on this incident? And man, I'm disappointed. Like we'll focus on Kyrie and Kanye, right? Because they say. But yeah, we're not speaking or saying anything about anything that's happened on the Virginia. And I'm not talking about entertainers. How come fellow other athletes aren't saying anything or out there doing some stuff for them? Or out there with those families or helping those families out, helping them breathe through this situation? Because in all honesty, it affects all of us, everyone that was in athletics.
Everyone collectively. Yeah. I mean, it's a fraternity and a sorority of folks who are in any way involved in sport athletics or anything of that, any club, group. Right, because you know what it's like when I sit next to you, Montel, on the bench or in the locker room. You know what that family unit is.
You know what I wish would happen? To be honest with you, what I wish would happen? I wish every Division I school that's playing on TV this weekend would take a knee against gun violence. Every Division I school that's about to play football this weekend should all take a knee for gun violence. In a moment of silence for this situation that's happening.
I think something's going to happen. You know what? I
don't think nothing's going to happen, but I wish they would do that.
I'm remembering Virginia Tech, right? I'm remembering the Virginia Tech incident that happened as well. And that was incredibly sad as well. I think somebody, I don't know who, I don't think they all will, right? I just don't believe it's in the DNA, unfortunately. But
the University of Virginia canceled the game against Charlotte this week.
Right, they're not playing. Yeah.
So, but I'm saying, if you're against gun violence and you're a coach against gun violence and you want gun violence to end, how great would that be to see the Alabamas of the world, the Auburns of the world, the Florida States, the Tennessees, the USCs of the world, one wear a patch on their shoulder that says VA, and then two, take a knee in solidarity against gun violence.
Yeah, I think so. I'm actually, again, I'm the optimist. I don't know. Right? I'm a glass half somewhat full, but this one, there's a hole in it. I think somebody is going to do something to.
I'm saying everybody. You saying somebody. I'm saying they all should do it.
Every institute. Listen, and I'm also a realist. I'm also a realist.
No. I hear you, but I'm saying I don't see why they're not standing behind each other at this point. And we're not talking about something like it's a controversial issue. We're against gun violence. Shit, who isn't?
Yeah.
Who isn't? So why we all can't wear a black patch and why can't we all take a knee in a moment of time? I'm not saying taking it during the national anthem. I'm saying taking a minute before the game is everybody takes a knee in solidarity against gun violence for 60 seconds. You can't play 60 seconds tribute to 3 men that died on your campus that represented the sport you play. Are we freaking kidding me?
Tell it.
And that's powerful. That's something that resonates with the millions of viewers that are going to be watching the games.
Yeah.
Now, I don't need a black leader to do that before we need to bring that acknowledgement to people. That can be done by players and their coaches.
Yes, sir.
And it only takes 60 seconds. That's where I'm at.
That's truth right there. Listen, I got nothing to say about that because that's truth, right? And it doesn't take a whole lot of extra planning. It doesn't take a whole lot of extra. We go.
It doesn't take a whole lot of extra nothing, but 60 seconds out of a game time.
Yeah.
That speaks volumes, and that brings acknowledgement to millions of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, what he said, without dragging us off the field. Exactly. Doesn't
Yeah.
drag nobody off the
Don't
field.
have to drag
You
anybody
just
out the field.
yeah,
Just do it. Make it symbolic.
sing,
Solidarity.
sing the national anthem. We're gonna take a moment of silence for the
Boom.
people in Virginia. All the players take a knee. Boom.
Then kick the ball and start the game.
Kick the ball and start the game.
If every sport would do that, okay. So
If every sport did that,
yeah,
you think that ain't gonna bring that ain't gonna bring some notoriety or
yeah,
some acknowledgement to the issue that happened in a bigger stance against gun violence? Because now you have millions and millions of people see millions of people that their idols and people that they like saying, "Wow, they're against gun violence. I need to take a better stance on this as well." That's my true feeling about it. And I don't think there needs to be a black leader to do anybody. There don't need to be any leader. It needs to be just a collective conversation. Matter of fact, it should be something that's done at the NCAA level. Say we're going to do this, period. Regardless.
Mm-hmm.
But again,
commission just come
one
up.
black man killing 3 black men. I don't think there's going to be too much action involved, unfortunately. And that right there is sad. That's sad.
Yeah. Well, let's see, right? I wrote some notes down when I went off screen about the things that we want to capture, and you know what? Next week, I'm gonna see. We're going to tally who actually did something. That's our idea. That's your idea about taking the knee and a moment of silence. Maybe they'll do a fist. Who knows? We'll see. I'm gonna be watching a lot of games.
Cut that. We should cut that piece right now and tweet that everywhere and see what everybody say, because
Bam!
I think that should be
just made it happen. There you go. I just made the mark. So, and I see all y'all on Twitter. Come on over here now and join these comments, because we over here on YouTube, we talking the real deal, Holyfield over here. All right, man. Let's get into it. The community has been asking us to take a look at this issue in Wisconsin with the women's volleyball team, and this is just crazy talk too. This just got out of hand. What happened was, in summary, there were some photos taken of the team off of one of the players' mobile phones, and those photos end up getting leaked online. Don't know how they got leaked online. Don't know if the player who took the pictures put them on what the kids look at, the Snapchats and the TikToks and all that. Don't know how they got there. But of course, that's an invasion of privacy. There's an investigation now taking a look at the Badgers women's volleyball team in terms of how those photos got leaked, pushed out there. The story hasn't really materialized outside of that, except for an investigation happening right now. But again, everyone's got these $1,000 cameras in their pocket, not even use as phones anymore. We buy these iPhones and these Samsungs and these Androids for the camera capabilities. So listen, I can take 4K video and I can take high definition photos and put them all over the planet in 2 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. So here we are. We've got some.
This is more of an issue. I don't know. It is an invasion of privacy, but the world we live in is nothing private no more.
True.
Right.
That's what it is. Right.
As soon as someone puts it on the phone and accessibility to it, it's no longer at that point private to anybody. It could be hacked and put out there, or it could be someone could just maliciously leak it out there. I feel sorry for the young women in there, because whatever was leaked out there obviously must have been offensive, or maybe something that was kind of racy out there. But the bottom line of it is, this is nothing new as far as what goes on in social media. Yeah. It's just sad that you can't trust nobody, right?
There it is, right there, right? Because it's more likely one of your teammates. And again, folks who have been in a locker room. Listen, everybody's naked, right? You're in there after the game. You're showering. You're getting changed and all of that. You're going through that. You're not even thinking about, oh man, someone from the outside is going to either barge through the door, or someone on the squad is taking pictures and going to try to share them online. You're not thinking about that as you being part of the team. But the invasion of privacy of now. I see my boy Chris Hicks. Look, he was an athlete in high school as well. I got pictures of Chris Hicks naked in the bathroom, and I'm gonna share those all over Facebook and the MySpace. Come on, that's not right. That's not right.
But that is today. But that's today's way and generation, right? Everybody wants to live online and post everything and have 1 million hits and do whatever they want to do by doing this. And unfortunately, that comes sometimes with some really strange content or some really racy content. And unfortunately, and that content usually going to invade somebody, right? It's going to be offensive to somebody else, or it's going to hurt somebody's feelings.
Mm-hmm.
That part is unfortunately. Now, the only way they're going to be able to stop this from happening is going to be ban cell phones from the locker room, right?
Yeah.
You're going to
And come
ban
on
people's
now.
cell phones
Yeah,
from the
and
locker
come
room.
on now. That that don't even sound right coming out your mouth in 2022/2023. Right?
Yeah, but that's the way it's going to be, right? I mean, you got to make sure that's or they got to check their phones in and lock them in the locker. You know, it's fun.
Like
It's
like you
funny.
do when you go to a comedy show or something like that, right?
Yeah,
You
yeah, yeah,
lock them
yeah,
up.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. I was reading an article about Klay Thomas, right? Klay Thompson for the Warriors.
Yeah.
He says, you know, when he throws his parties and his thing, everybody has to turn their phone in. You have to lock your phone up and get a key because you can't bring your phone into his parties because he doesn't want no one's privacy to be, you know, violated out
I
there
think
with
that's a
people
smart
taking it.
move. I mean, that's a
But
business
look,
decision that Klay
we,
Thompson is making.
but we're coming to a state in an area in life, bro, where you can't even bring your phone, your means of communication with you to the gym, right? You can't even bring it to the gym.
Can't even
Pretty
bring it
soon
to
you
the
can't
gym.
bring it to any gathering you have with some people that may be talking about some we don't even have the trust in each other, right? To be able to do this thing. That's to me that's sad.
Yeah.
That is
And this is at a different
absolutely
level because
sad.
again, these are teammates, right?
Teammates.
So again, this is that extended family where you think,
Yes.
come on, man, you're not gonna do me like that, right? We out here on the field of battle. You're not gonna throw these
Yeah.
pitches out there like
This your
man.
teammate supposed to be your brother, your sister. You know, your coach is supposed to be your mentors and all
Yeah.
that. It just doesn't make any sense, man. You can't trust, cannot trust, and that's what's sounding of the situation that's going on in Wisconsin. You know, somebody they couldn't trust, or somebody was jealous or something,
So
put some stuff out there.
was this the the towel person? Was this
Um,
the locker room attendant over there
but
with the where my sunglasses at? My glasses. Okay,
no,
okay. So this
you know what it's
let
like,
me
man.
holler
You know,
at you.
this reminds me of. This is nothing but a lower level situation
Yeah,
that happened like with the Warriors with
yeah.
Draymond Green.
So hold on, let me
And
show you.
that's
So
that's
these sunglasses, these Ray-Ban stories have cameras in them.
yeah. See,
So
look at you.
yeah,
Can't
so
trust you. We can't even
don't
walk. You
trust
have you walking
me.
around with sunglasses. Don't know what you're doing.
I can walk in the room and say, "Hey, Facebook," and next thing you know, these things are taking video and putting them online. So you don't know, too. Right? Yeah,
But
these are dope.
I'm saying this is just a situation like the incident that happened with the Warriors, right?
Yeah.
Locker room's supposed to be a private incident that happens behind closed doors. You know, someone leaks it out. This is it's the same scenario. Whatever that young lady in dress
Okay.
whatever
Yeah,
that
I was okay. You're talking about the Draymond Green and the
yeah,
Jordan
yeah,
Poole.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. They
exactly
leak it
same
out.
situation.
So you can't trust anybody. It's come to the point where you can't
Can't
trust anybody
trust
in your
nobody,
own
man.
circle. Can't trust them. That's what it is.
Can't
You have
trust
to be careful
nobody.
about your surroundings and who you with, man. Keep that circle as small as you possibly can because you can't trust anybody's ulterior motives. That's exactly what that's all about,
That's sad,
unfortunately.
man. It's sad. So we'll see what this continues to, how this unfolds. But shouts out to the community for bringing this up to us, and we did our research. Nothing much has come out of the investigation yet. We'll see what's going on. Let me see. I know this is mom. She's saying James asked Jennifer about the phone security. I thought I was saying, yeah, she told me about the phone security. Listen, my mom was. I'm not gonna put their business out in the street, but yeah, my mom is not paying attention when she sends out messages. Lord have mercy. She putting all the business out there on the internet. She can't trust. Oh, we're gonna blame it on
Hey,
the phones. She gonna blame the phones.
yeah.
Oh
Can't
my
trust
God.
these phones, man.
Can't trust
Hey,
this technology.
I can't. You can trust the phones, you just can't trust that cloud. Once it
That
gets in that cloud, that's
I can't trust that
it.
cloud. That's it. Dr. Gilliland, I see you, man. Yes, sir. I got the Ray-Ban. What do you call them? Stories. I had them day one. So yeah, man. Good to see you, Lance. Man, I appreciate you for being here, brother. All right, let's move on to Lord have mercy. This story right here. Sorry, so I'm gonna bring up the story we talked about last time.
This bro right here.
This why don't he just go sit down? Ben Gordon. Remember we talked about this. He had the altercation with his son, 10-year-old son, hitting him in the head, hitting him repeatedly in the head for dropping
Dropping
a
a book.
book. Ben Gordon was at the airport with his son 1 month ago.
Mm-hmm.
He got into a situation with his son, his 10-year-old son. repeatedly hit him in the head, and for the reason being that he dropped a book on the ground. 1 month ago. This is what happened to Mr. Ben Gordon this week. 3:00 in the morning, he's getting kicked out of McDonald's. And he's going to end up, we don't know why he got kicked out. So we have to figure out exactly why he got kicked out. And where is a McDonald's open at 3:00 in the morning, for one thing?
It don't matter, though.
Why in Chicago are the McDonald's open at 3 a.m.? But listen, on November 4th, Ben Gordon is getting into an altercation. He's pushing, he's shoving, he's throwing blows at someone working at the McDonald's. And now this is his next mugshot in 30 days. What is going on with Ben Gordon?
Brother need a hug.
Ben Gordon?
Brother need a hug, bro. Shoot, I don't know what's wrong with it. I mean,
come on.
You know what? To be all honest with you, man, you know what? He need to learn his lesson. Ben Gordon is a good old. I'm gonna tell you right now, Ben Gordon, in my opinion, y'all, our fans out there, part of my, he need a good old ass whoop because he needs to stop.
Someone need to knock him down. No, somebody need to knock him down.
He need to quit putting his hands on people that he don't need to put his hands on because this doesn't make any sense. Like you said, he assaulted his son, which is, we already talked about that situation. But now we go 30 days later, and then now we in this situation. We get in the fight at McDonald's. Tony, we keep saying I get the mental health, brother, man. I do. I understand. The brother probably needs some counseling or something that's going on. But also, in addition to that counseling, he needs his ass whooped. He needs something to be, somebody to re-jog his memory to say, hey, that's what it means to put your hands on somebody when you don't need it. To me, again, there's something, his situation, there's something going on, bro. I mean, where there's a disconnect break, right? You've accomplished and you've done everything you were supposed to do in life to make it to that point, right? You're a successful basketball player. You made it to the NBA. You made a lot of money.
Yeah.
All these things you got. Now why you doing a Kanye on us? Why you flipping out all of a sudden?
Yeah, I mean on the wrong folks too. You at the McDonald's, you wanted the Big Mac at 3:00 in the morning, right? First of all, that don't make no sense. And you as an athlete, you probably shouldn't be eating that anyway.
But to be honest, what could you do it to me at McDonald's at 3:00 in the morning? I possibly had to put my hands on. Would you give me enough ketchup?
Don't make no sense. It don't make no sense.
What is the situation? And when you're in a situation when I don't know it's financial situation, but you were at one point in the financial situation where you could have bought your own McDonald's, right? He was at one point he could have paid for his own.
Speak on that. He could have been owning this particular franchise location with all the millions that he made while he was playing, and if he still maintained some endorsements. But
I'm just man, the excuse every time somebody just want to be ignorant is the mental health thing. And I'm saying I know it's true. I know there's some mental issues. But I can't believe that people aren't got enough aptitude to overcome it and act rationally. You mean tell him so? At 3:00 in the morning he has to be somebody. So he had to be rationally at 2:00 in the afternoon, right? 2:00 in the afternoon he wasn't beating up nobody at McDonald's. So what's any difference between 2:00 and 3:00 in the morning?
Man, listen, he's 39, and listen, I'm 53. I used to can do 3:00 in the morning. He don't have no.
James, we both been to Vegas at 3:00 in the morning. What possible argument could I get in with it? Even if they gonna be late with my food.
Yeah.
The food, right? I ordered my food. It's been 25 minutes. Bro, come on, my food. I ain't gonna fight you, dude.
There is no reason to get upset at 3:00 in the morning with the little man working at the McDonald's just trying to get you your filet.
There is not one reason in this world I can see for you have to fight the guy at McDonald's at 3:00 in the morning.
This is embarrassing.
So Tony, I'm saying you because you made the comment. I'm not saying anything is bad. I'm not saying, but I'm saying we keep using the mental health thing as just the get out. I don't know, man. There's nothing you can tell me.
You're not gonna cut him slack on this one. Not the mental health. Maybe he's just crazy. He literally just crazy for being at McDonald's at 3:00 in the morning.
But I do believe he needs help. I do believe he needs some type of help. Somebody that needs to reach out to him and talk to him or do whatever to kind of get him back on the right track. Maybe counseling is the right place, but every action that he does is in a mental health action. That's a conscious thing he's doing. Hey, I'm at 3:00 in the morning. My fries is cold, so I'm gonna go ahead and beat the dude up. That's bullshit. That's BS, man. There ain't nothing even to argue with this dude about at 3:00 in the morning. I mean,
Just move on.
yeah,
Just move
yeah,
on.
please give me some more fries. I mean, at that point, man,
No,
my wife is supposed to be
you
hitting me with some
probably
hot
didn't pay
fries.
for them anyway, right?
Yeah,
You told folks you were Ben Gordon. Oh, Ben Gordon
yeah, yeah,
for
man.
the Bulls.
Oh, yeah, yeah. You used to play for the Bulls. Let me hook you up.
Yeah, let
Oh,
me get you, an extra chicken McNuggets.
yeah. I just don't
Oh,
think. I just believe, man, that just he's rational. He's rational at some points, and at some points he's not. Because that's the case, he'd be having these outlashes on everybody he encounters with in any situation. Whatever triggered him at 3 o'clock in the morning, I get it, and I believe I get that something triggers him. But I know he has enough mental fortitude to not act out on somebody at 3 o'clock in the morning, especially after the situations he's been in. Man,
in
this
less
just
than a
don't make no
month,
sense,
right?
man.
And
This don't make no sense.
he's still getting heat for the for less than a month at the airport for hitting
Yeah,
his 10-year-old son. So you're right.
yeah, man. Do Uber Eats, bro. Uber Eats deliver McDonald's. If it's open at 3 o'clock in the morning, somebody at Uber Eats can go ahead and deliver, man.
And as
Come
much,
on,
but
bro.
I can't even pay attention because I'm laughing here. Lance got jokes, right? Lance talk about somebody. What is it? He said somebody probably told him to box out. He needed to box out the Big Mac. Lance over here with the jokes.
I'm just, man. I'm gonna give a pass on a lot of situations, man. I just don't believe this is one we got to give a pass on. And yeah, you're right. Drugs is a hell of. He might be on that stuff, and that might be what's causing it. But he need to figure out exactly what's going on because the brothers, he got 2 L's right now.
Yeah,
Two big L's within 30 days apart. And he needs to
He
figure it
retired
out.
in 2017, and why is TMZ Sports the one carrying this? But he said he had numerous run-ins with the law following his retirement in 2017. Let's hopefully next month in December we're not coming back and having another Ben Gordon situation conversation because they seem to be getting honestly. So this is one of those things that if we had seen in advance that this brother needed some help last month, hitting his son for crazy reason. This month he's in McDonald's 3 o'clock in the morning knocking folks out.
So at this point, so think about it. At this point, if that's me, I would hope you'd be like, brother, hey man, you need to sit down and talk.
Yeah,
like,
right.
listen,
So again,
I'm
let's
your
have
friend.
that hindsight right now before it turns
I'm your
into a
friend.
December situation where
I'm your friend, man. What's going on, man? What's going on? And why you acting out like this in life, man? I need to, you need to holler at me. What's going on?
Yeah.
If you was in the same situation, I'd be like, James, yo, man, what's going on?
Yeah.
Like, why? Like, hey, man, I understand. Okay, the son thing, you lost it. We passed that. I gave you the pass on that one. Now this is another incident. Hey, man, as your friend, what we need to talk about? Let's go get away. Let's go down to Barbados and get away for a weekend. Let's talk and figure out what's going on with you,
right?
And help you out, man. Because I see the pattern you're going down. You're going down a dark path, man. You don't need to go down.
Do not want to foresee that particular thing happening.
But where's that friend? Where's that cousin? Where's that brother? Where's that auntie in his life that should be able to say that and do that instead of blocking it out and just living maybe off his paychecks? Why ain't somebody speaking to him and talking to him about saying what's going on? I think that's where we're missing a lot of that as well. And what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
What did you say?
Lance said, he was joking, but seriously though, he probably got disrespected by a 3 a.m. Mickey D's worker trying to be funny. We don't know. We don't know. We'll probably hear a little bit as this flushes out.
To Lance's situation, even if that was the case, somebody trying to clown him, be funny at 3 o'clock at Mickey D's, he's been a professional most of his life, or he's been a professional, been in a basketball setting where people heckled him, harassed him, and talked about him all his life, rooting against him, right? And he's been able to overcome that. He's been able to look past that. So I would think that he knows he's been trained enough to be able to say, somebody's saying something bad about me, I know how to get past that.
Yeah.
Not put my hand in
that. Tony, my man TD, talking about, listen, you bringing up Barbados. He said, look, we need to talk, but I don't know if I'm gonna go with you to Barbados. we need to roll a little bit deeper than just you and me, right? Because I need backup for your backup.
Well, you know what I'm saying.
Listen, these folks is real. These are my folks from school. Listen. Yeah. I think. Hey, Chris, was it you that got into that little altercation at vac? Well, I'm not gonna put this out there in the streets. I'm not gonna do that. Yeah, these some gangsters that I got here in the comments too now. Now Tony and Chris, they know how to handle business. Shouts out to Vanden High School.
Yeah, they got them right and left. So I feel you.
Yeah, we know what to do. No, step back, Armio. Okay, let me go and get focused. let me log back in and get. We got one more story, folks. We going a little bit over time, but you know what? It is what it is. We had a lot of things that we needed to talk about. I'm gonna throw this up right quick so y'all know who it is you're dealing with. I'm gonna have to fix that. I keep hitting the wrong button on that call to action as well, especially when I'm drinking this.
It's all good. Hey man, tell a friend about our
scotch.
show. I think we're one of the hottest. We're one of them hottest shows, man. That's out there. People need to tune in. I think. Please tell a friend to go ahead and tune in and check us out and make sure they comment. And Team No Sleep. We waking folks up. That's what we are. Team No Sleep is waking folks up.
Folks aren't ready, man. I wish that they were, but folks aren't ready for what we talking about. And it'll all come in time, I know, because I know we have we got a great product, but we hitting people in the mouth, all right, with the conversations that we have, and I don't really care about the sponsorships. I don't care about the recognition. I love what happens when we're live and I see all these comments of folks talking about bringing up their opinions and bringing up their perspective and just having that dialogue. That's when I know we're winning. Mm-hmm. But it's an uphill battle for sure. Listen, we love the journey, we love the process and all this, but man, we really coming with some stuff that you are not. We not the drunk kings, or what is the drink kings, right? We not Mr. Beast out here doing prank videos. We not what's the other two YouTube folks, and now the guy that's boxing now. We not doing that type of stuff. Mm-hmm. Nobody else is going into a 50-minute conversation about University of Virginia and how that matters to society. No one is talking about Ben Gordon and what really is going on in that man's head, right? No one is talking about that kind of stuff. So, folks, again, if what we're talking about resonates with you from a content perspective, tell somebody, all right? Because we gonna keep doing it regardless. Because we got stuff to say, we got things to talk about, and we think that it's actually resonating and making a difference. So, share, comment, like, do all that kind of stuff, and we're gonna keep moving on. You are so close to football. You are so close to various divisions of football, from a coaching perspective, from a playing perspective, from a father of a coach and a player perspective, that I know this last story right here hurt your heart. So I'm just going to put you on the screen, let you talk about it, about what's going on. Give some context about what's going on here at Whittier College.
Okay, yeah. Whittier College, Division III school in California, dropped its football program, along with a few other things. They dropped lacrosse and men's and women golf. And, their reasoning behind it, which this is the part that really upset me. Their reasoning behind it is they're saying that their cautiousness of the CTE issues when it comes to collegiate sports. And then they're going to follow up by saying, financial reasons and all this stuff. They eliminate sports because it costs too much, and they want to keep the other sports so they can be successful in their conference they're in. It's kind of the gist of everything. It really upsets me, man, because for football, this is one of the key mechanisms that attracts a lot of men to go play college. To go to college. Football is that attract mechanism. Once they get there, they're able to, find out who they are, get their degree, and become successful or promising citizens in our society. This school right here, the fact that they try to use the CTE narrative pisses me off, because that's not true. You're not concerned about these young people's success. You're not concerned about it at all. Because if that was the case, everyone would be talking about it, for one. And number two, you're trying to paint the narrative that you're concerned about these kids' health, when in the bottom line, the only thing you're concerned about is your lack of success, right? Because no successful programs close their thing, and Whittier just hasn't been successful on the football field or in the sports they play. So now you say, hey, we're going to hide behind, we're going to talk about now the expense. It costs so much to have this thing here. Yeah. First of all, you guys need to understand, this is a Division III school. So there's no scholarships given. That's number one. Number two, the league they play in is a bus league. So every team they play is within a 100-mile radius. So they just get on the bus and drive. It's a day trip that you play and you come back home. If it's a away game and you host a home game. So there you go. for as far as travel expenses. It's very least expensive. Your expenses are the coach's salaries that are there, and they can try to say insurance, but usually at Division III level and Division II level, your home insurance from your family is the primary insurance, and their insurance is secondary insurance.
Okay.
So there is no cost for insurance for them. They have to have it, but it's very minimal at that point. So I'm sorry, there's one additional cost, probably the maintenance of the field and the upkeep of the facilities. You have to have that, which is a janitorial fee.
Right.
But let's keep it in all honesty. There's no Division III sports I know at Whittier College making any money. They're not. They're not making any money. So everything you do as from an athletic standpoint is an expense. You'll be more honest with yourself by asking yourself, why don't we cut all sports from Whittier? If we're gonna cut one, we should cut them all because none of them are making any money. None of them are money generators at that point, but there are mechanisms there to drive student body to come to that school so they can participate. Right? And since this school charges $30,000 plus, per student, money should be there. And if you're going to go further than that, okay, the money that you're going to save from football and cutting lacrosse and women's and golf, where's that money going to go? Where's it going to go benefits the students now? Tell me where that extra money is going to go that you all of a sudden. Mind you, please tell me why in the fact do I have an AD and an assistant AD and I'm paying probably $100,000 plus for it?
When I don't have any sports.
When I got to cut sports. Tell me why am I doing this?
Yeah.
So my thing is, if you're going to use the expense thing and it's an expense, right? And there's no profit coming in, then be like companies. You cut the whole department. If you have a department in your company, James, is making no money, and it's a constant, and it provides no benefit to your school supposedly, then you cut the whole department, right? You don't just say, hey, I'm gonna cut a piece of it, I'm gonna save a little bit of it right here. I'm gonna cut the whole thing because we need to just go ahead and get rid of it and move on. We're just sitting here acting like we boo-boo the fool and say, oh, we're gonna cut these schools because it's a little bit expensive. We're worried about CTE. But you're not worried about the medical narrative, bro. There is no medical science that anybody from Whittier has CTE from playing football for 4 years. And two, there's really very little bit of knowledge from people having CTE after college. You usually get CTE when you play football beyond those years. Like when you're playing from the 22 to 30, another additional 8 years at a very, very high value or a very, very high level, where everybody's running 130 miles per hour running into you.
Yeah.
Not where you're in college where it's like that. So there's very little studies to say that. But they try to use that as a narrative to try to cover up saying, hey, we're cutting it for expense. All the Division IIs in California and now Whittier are trying to hide behind it. But they're talking about the expense game, man. And instead of being an expense, it should be an investment in our young people. I echo from a gentleman I know. Damn, I forgot his name. Anyway, he was saying this is a step for Division III moving to California. I think football and Division III football is going to be going to California in the next 5 years. No need to have it. If they're going to follow this narrative, they're all going to cut. And there's no need to have it. Number two, I think to put it in more perspective for people, drop it down one more level, high school. Why do we have high school sports? It's to help develop young people, right? Help them develop the things that they don't learn in class, because you learn more in sports about real life actions than you do in the classroom.
Yeah, it's true.
So, but it makes no money, right? High school sports don't really make no money for the school unless you're a powerhouse or something like that, but they really don't make a lot of money for the school. Why should we have high school sports? Why don't we cut that narrative? If we can't have it at the collegiate level just because it's not Division I where it's making more time millions of dollars, then we should cut all those levels down. If you look at it from a school perspective, why do I need to have high school sports? Tell me. There should be no. If we're taking that narrative that Whittier's trying to paint out there, I'm worried about CTE for these kids, and it's not making me any money. So why should we have it? At that point, I can save money. I don't have to have teachers. I don't have the coaches. I don't have to hire anyone. We can save money. Whittier's just another level higher that they're saying that. And bottom line, they're running between their tails. They're running with their tails in between their legs on something that to me, you're just basically saying you're not going to invest in students anymore. Not those. We're cutting because we're not investing in students anymore.
It's a tough conversation.
I'm telling you, I'm saying right here on the air, you can cut this and chop it up to anyone else. I'm very disappointed in a lot of athletes for not supporting them or calling these things out. Austin Eckler for the San Diego Chargers should be the first one saying them because he comes from a Division II program. He should be echoing, why are we bringing this back? Because it is so important for people's development and for these kids to have another opportunity, and for these guys. I'm pissed off that Reggie Bush and Maya Leonard and everyone else don't show any support for it, because guess who buys your shoes and your jerseys? Who watches your show every day?
Yeah.
These dudes on these lower levels. Guess who's your cameraman? Guess who's your secretary in HR? They come from these kind of schools, from these Division II schools. They're working these type of jobs for you to help support you to be the person that you are. And no one says anything. They don't. It's like you don't want to support. Just because they didn't make it to the epitome of the Division I level doesn't mean their accomplishments are any less. It doesn't mean they don't need the support for you to voice your opinion. Say, you know what? Why aren't we bringing this back? And thirdly, I'm pissed off at the NFL. You talk about go play, right? You talk about the little kids playing flag football and Pop Warner, but yet when they get to high school, about the facilities in there, and definitely when it gets to the lower levels, Division IIIs, Division IIs, and AIs, you're not speaking enough to the point. And we're in the state of California, where we're one of the biggest states that draw one of the biggest populations that has most of the people that are in the NFL. So where are the why they do not want to support it? I have no idea. Maybe because it doesn't do anything for them and it's not making any money in their pocket. But the bottom line is the demise of these programs means our kids in California have nowhere to go play and develop themselves at the next level.
Let me get some
and
statistics.
I'm telling you, if it trickles down to Division III, it's eventually going to trickle down to some high school.
That's
I'm
where,
telling you right now, there is going to be a high school to say, we're cutting athletics. There will be one. I promise you, soon. It won't be late. It will be one that says, we're not going to have athletics. There's no need. What? We don't. It calls it CTE. It doesn't make us any money. It's only an expense. So why should we have it?
Yeah. Let me ask you this, and appreciate that definition and that explanation, and I also appreciate some of these comments here. You know, Tony is asking something that I would be curious about, and I think you would probably know, but maybe not off the top of your head. He said, "Tell me how many football programs are left in California that are not Division I, because growing up there were a lot of football programs within the states, you know, in California in the 80s and 90s, right? And now we're seeing it, and here it is, the story after 115 years, D3 is leaving Whittier College. This is just the beginning, I think, of that whole.
Yeah, I think right now, and that's answer Tony's question, the non-Division I, there's Claremont McKenna, Claremont Pitzer, Chapman, Redlands. There might be one more Division III, but I don't think so. So there's only like 4 or 5 Division IIIs.
Wow.
4 or 5 Division III schools. There's no Division II schools. Lincoln and Elkland tries to set a Division II school, but they don't have the facility. So they're something that's trying to start off. They're like more of a club team playing college ball. And then you have Simpson Colleges is NII that's trying to start this year, way up there north by Chico and everything. But there's no D2s. Right now, there's currently no D2s. There's no NAIs. There's 4 now Division III schools, and the rest are Division I, AA, and Division I. Period.
So where do the back to that, and also back to what Lance was saying, right? Again, he's trying to get his students, his kids, to play some high school sports, play high school football, play high school whatever.
Yep.
If there's nothing around at those next levels, where's the joy? Where's the incentive? Yeah, I mean, we play because we love the game and all, but you know, goodness gracious, if there's just nothing left.
Well, I'm a product of that. So you got to think, my son plays in Minnesota. I live in Southern California.
Yeah,
he had to go to Minnesota, and if he wanted to continue to play, he can't. Because there's no avenues here. It's funny, man. We live in the 4th largest economy in the world, California, not the states. We live the 4th largest economy in the world. You're telling me that our state schools can't afford to provide sports for our kids? We pay taxes for gas, we pay taxes for everything else, but yet we can't play for athletics for our kids. And you got to understand what's the mechanism there. Think about a kid that plays in Sacramento, and it's not going to play in Sacramento State or UC Davis or go to Cal, but he can play at the Division II level. So say he goes play at the Division II level. His family, he still has a family support mechanism, because I'm talking about myself. I played in Humboldt. My mom was in Still Sacramento. She couldn't make it to the Humboldt games. She's 5 hours away, but you know what? She could make it to the Hayward State games. She could make it to the Sonoma State games. She could make it to those games to support me. I have a comfort level with staying in the state of California because I have friends and family here. So I do have somewhat of a family mechanism, and my family can support me whether from a smaller distance or a larger distance. I'm blessed that I'm able to go to Minnesota and stuff a lot, But a lot of these families can't go see their kids playing, their son or their daughter go play in Kansas.
Yeah, it's
They
true.
can't do that. So now you lose that family support. Basically, your child is now on their own, right? They got to kind of figure it out on their own and maybe talk through FaceTime or maybe phone call, but they can't be that interaction that you need there as far as support. So it's sad, man. It's a sad case, and no one's discussed it. No one's talking about it. Everybody just says, "Oh, the university says it costs too much, so we're not going to do it." I think ads are full of crap and they're so lazy. Because let's be honest with you, the first mechanism trying to run was behind Title IX. Oh, Title IX, we got to have it scholarship for that and that. That's cool. I agree. Women should have scholarships just as much as men, but we've already talked about it should be on a percentage basis because football is such a large sport, so you can't go for the one for one. But with that being said, you're taking away these sports, man. It's sad because I was passionate about football because one, it's the largest, and two, it's the number one mechanism that help these kids get into school.
Yeah.
Sonoma State would have. You got to think about it. If 10 schools had a roster of 100 men, right? 10 schools had 100 men. That's 1,000 men being educated. And James, I'm gonna ask you because you live in California. What is the number one thing in your HR when you ask them, how come we can't hire more African American men? What do they say? We don't have enough for the pool. There's not enough educated ones. Am I right?
Yeah.
How come we can't hire enough Latino men? Not enough in the pool. Not we don't see anybody coming out of college. There's nothing there, and that's that layer that was there for us to come out at the Chicos, at the Humboldts, and all in the Sonomas and San Francisco States and Cal State, East Bay, Long Beach State, and all these. Those lower level schools that were playing it, and you can go there and get your education. We were filming those jobs. We were being competitive in the market. Now, black and brown men are so left behind in that market, way behind. And football was an attractive mechanism. I'm not saying it should be the main mechanism, but it was one of the catalysts and one of the mechanisms that helped attract kids to go to school, stay in school, graduate, and figure out who they are. We done lost all these schools, man. We lost about, in the last 20 years, man, 25 years, we done lost almost like 25 schools that used to play football, no longer have it. So it's sad, man. It's really sad because there's nothing there. And Whittier, man, I think they're a bunch of cowards, man, for stating that narrative, trying to say they're worried about CTE.
Using that as their excuse, yeah.
If they were truly worried about CTE, then you would cut soccer, because soccer has more concussions than any other sport, and one of has probably the second most, or just as much as football in concussions. So if you were worried about CTE, soccer would be to say you were like, we got to cut soccer because there's more concussions in that sport than any of them, or just as much as in that sport as any other one.
Yeah, talk about that. I mean, and Lance, I don't know if he's still here. I mean, Lance is a soccer coach, right? And he's coached soccer at many levels, and he's played it too. So he knows, the good, the bad, and the ugly about that sport. So yeah,
soccer has a higher rate of concussions. Higher rate. Now we don't know if CTE applies to soccer. No one's ever done a study on it because that's not kind of what the American public wants to see. But I know soccer has a high rate of concussion rates. So if you're really truly concerned about, hey, we're concerned about CTE, we're concerned about those actions, we're concerned about that, then remove soccer as well. That's a physical sport. But you didn't do that. You concentrate on football. You concentrate on lacrosse. And then, I don't know if you read that story, right behind it, they said, oh, well, we got to cut it's financially expensive. I can see if you were given scholarships, yeah, that might be a different narrative. Or, you travel all over the country, that might be a narrative. You can't tell me that's not a narrative when you're in a bus league and you charge these kids $30,000 a year to go.
Yeah. I'm gonna put the link in the description so folks can read this, so they don't think that it's just us coming off biased about this situation. Yeah. Read it for yourself. Read it straight from the horse's mouth, from the Whittier Daily News, folks.
Yeah, and the crazy part about it, man, it's just like I said, I just don't. I don't understand. I'm not understanding, man, the AD. So why am I paying the AD that much money? Why not just cut your salary and say football? How about that?
You don't have you don't have as much to AD anymore. Might as well, right? Your role has been reduced.
Your role is reduced tremendously.
Just saying.
My thing is, and not one school can prove this or has to put anything out there. With all the money you're supposedly saving by cutting these sports, where did that money go?
See, there you go. Okay, see now you're getting into people business.
You want to open? Let's open up some
scams. Now you're getting into people business.
Tell me where that money. Humboldt State. Tell me where that money went that you saved for cutting football. Chico State, Hayward, Sonoma, Long Beach, UC Santa Barbara, Cal State Fullerton. Where did that money go that you saved for supposedly cutting football? Where did it go? Where's it at? What modifications have you changed? Because I've been to Long Beach State. Their stadium still is horrible. They've done nothing there. Where's it at?
Line in
But yeah, you know
somebody's
what?
pockets.
Each one of those schools still have an AD and an assistant AD. For what?
In a nice office. And driving a nice electric car or whatever.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Lance is chiming in. He's saying, yeah, soccer has a lot of concussions. CTE seems to be a cop out. Golf,
Yeah.
not so much, right? So again,
Yeah.
golf.
Yeah, the golf team was a casualty. I hate to say that's just a casualty. I'm trying to say, hey, we're cutting other sports besides football to kind of make the numbers match. I think that's, and probably whatever the case is. But they are not going to sit here and try to paint that narrative and justify it and probably say that and try to just fool everybody saying, hey, this is our excuse by doing it. I think they need to be called out. And I've said my voice on social media and also to a couple of people that I know that's in the news there, like, that's a BS narrative. Like, why don't you just be honest, bro? The reason why we cut football because we suck. We haven't been good in 18 years, and we can't draw any fans. Okay, well then develop the winning culture. Point the finger at yourself. We need to develop a winning culture because let's be honest with you, no winning culture cuts their programs. None.
True.
They don't. If you're winning, you ain't cutting it because you know why? People come out and support winners. They come in groves to support winning programs. So, what to say? Need a 5-person board made up of staff members for what? I don't know what that means. For what?
I think he's talking about putting some folks together at Whittier to figure this out. But
I think it needs to be at the state of California, the educational board. They need to figure it out
at the state level. Okay.
Yeah. I think it needs to be, and the reason why I say that is because why state schools can't provide these sports programs? We have more than enough money. We have so much money we give it something back, right? In the state of California, because we got so much money in it too. I'm not understanding why the boards. If we know that sports have been proven to develop certain characteristics more than anything else in the classroom, and now we're in the pivotal age between the 18 and 22 where they're going into adults, and it even holds you more accountable for time. It shows you how to be leaders. It shows you how to communicate. It shows you how to be working teamwork. It shows you how to work under adversity and all these certain things. Why are you allowing state schools to cut these sports when we know these are proven characteristics you need in the workforce? Why would you cut it? That doesn't make any sense to me.
Cut that AD, like Chris is saying. Cut that AD.
So my only premise is ADs are lazy. They're not trying to figure out ways to make things work. Instead of just figuring out ways, hey, the easiest thing to always do it is cut, right? Right. Instead of having surgery on something that has you, it's easier to just remove it, right? Remove it out instead of trying to figure it out, going through rehab, fix it, do surgery. That's the hard part. The easy part is just cut it on off, and we're done with it. So I think these ADs have taken the easy way out, and I believe they should be held accountable for, especially at the state school level. And I think after you held it at the state school level, it trickles down into private school level. It does. It just makes that way. And like I said, maybe the scenario may be different in the Division I because you do have to follow the Title IX situations. If it's a scholarship program, you do have to follow the Title IX protocol with a little bit, but I think you can maneuver a little bit about that. But bottom line, man, there's something needs to be done, and they need to quit being lazy and be able to bring these sports back because we know how beneficial they are in the workforce for these people becoming young adults.
There it is. Folks, we hit you tonight, didn't we? I told Montel, I said, man, I know we're gonna hit these folks tonight. And I think we did that, right?
Got my mouth caught, man.
Yeah, listen, I had to switch camera angles, man, because I wanted to make sure I was looking at you, as we were talking. Brother, let's go ahead and wrap and let's go ahead and leave everyone with something to think about. So we talked about a lot of things. We talked about, like I said, University of Virginia. We talked about the Wisconsin volleyball team. Talked about Brother Gordon, who is still out here tripping. Talked about cutting of athletic programs at various levels. And I'm going to say even though it's specifically about Whittier and D3, it's going to trickle down, and we're going to start seeing it again, unfortunately, at the high school level. We're going to see it at maybe these club levels. We're going to see it at different levels, and this could just be that writing on the wall. But, man, think about that, especially if you've got students involved in any of those programs or who want to be involved in any of those programs. And then it's always the follow the money thing, and it's always like you said, I think what you said was right. But a winning culture would not cut programs.
Mm-mm.
So do better, make yourself better. Have your athlete train up instead of sitting around playing video games. Have them in the gym doing squats or whatever. Make themselves
Well,
better.
yeah, I just food for thought, man. If you're a parent and you have some kids that are about to go to high school, imagine you send your kids to high school and then they cut all sports, athletics, and
Ooh.
your son's an athlete has been playing basketball or soccer all their life, and they
And
let
everyone
them.
that's chiming in right now is an athlete, right? So I mean, Tony and Chris and Lance, right? So
Yeah,
they know. I mean, how that
yeah.
hurts at the core, right? Just to hear
Can
me say that.
can you imagine not having sports in high school when we
Man,
played?
no, brother, I was on the mound, right? Listen,
Yeah,
I had a decent fastball, but man, I tell you what,
yeah.
man, that would
Now,
not
but
be
see, but I'm
good.
saying, can you and your family imagine you to having sports and you becoming the person you have? I couldn't imagine being in high school without sports
No,
because I believe
no,
that's the next. So that's what I want parents to understand. Understand, your kid's been playing club and Pop Warner and UY and all this. Then all of a sudden, there's nowhere to play at the high school level. Now there's an avenue for club sports, but there's only so many, right? Only
yeah.
so many club sports. So now we're saying, hey, your daughter that played softball all her life, there's nowhere else for her to play anymore. So
That is not something that a parent wants. That's not one of the conversations that a parent wants to
exactly.
have with their child.
But if that was to happen, parents would be in an uproar. Am I correct? There'd
Yeah,
be an uproar.
yeah.
Why are we in the same uproar for Division III and Division II in NAI football in California? Because that is the same thing that's happening. They're taking that away. We should be in an uproar because we want to still be able to support our young student athlete, our daughters and our sons while they're playing sports through college. We want to be able to give our money to that school. We want to be able to buy the T-shirt and walk around proud and brand. We want to be able to tweet that our son is doing good in those schools. Why do we have to send our kids out of state?
Yeah.
We shouldn't have to do that. We should be able to provide it for them to be in state and support them and let them play and go through these things and help them go through their growing pains while they're doing athletics in school, while they're here at home or while they're near home. That's my point through the whole
Wow.
thing. I'm not understanding why that's cut.
That's it right there, man. That Kevin Cox, the moderator joins at
At the end.
the 70th minute of the show. All right, Kevin Cox, we may have to talk about your salary, brother. I mean, no, I'm just messing with you. He's out there doing.
We're gonna
Appreciate you
double
for
it, brother. We're
yeah,
gonna double it.
yeah. We gonna double your salary for sure,
Yeah.
man. Glad you're here. Hit the replay, man, because we got into it tonight, man. And definitely share it out if you find some value. Montel, take us out, man. We expended a lot of energy tonight, and we talked about a lot of things, but I think we did good as well. So, yeah, take us out, man.
Absolutely, man. Get comfortable having uncomfortable conversations. I think that's the way of life, and we need to have that. And this is what Team Sleep is all about. So, again, be comfortable having an uncomfortable conversation and address the elephant in the room. Let's have that discussion so we can hash it out.
That's it. Y'all be good to yourself. We out, and we will take care, and we will see you next week. Later now.